Success is 99% failure. Soichiro Honda. My friends, each and every day, don't worry about how poorly you start off doing. Over time, you will get better if you spend 10 to 15 minutes each and every day following your favorite stocks and ETFs. Practice trading all you can, taking all of our trainings, reading, learning, thinking, getting better. Some of the best traders I know have the least amount of formal education because they've simply stuck with it and learned. This is not rocket science. I say over and over again, it's charting art. It's being experienced in the market, understanding the ebbs and flows of fear and greed, money in, money out, volume. We keep our charts extremely simple. What are they? They are literally the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks and a volume metric. And of course, we use our trend lines. Let's jump into these charts. We see everything is down for the day except bonds, which are pushing through the ceiling that we had drawn in there. I'll show you in just a minute. Let's look at where we are on the S&P 500. We are down 0.26%. You can see how we have two floors in here, these purple lines, and we are above them. We moved down through last Thursday, and then on Friday started moving up. We can see where that up move has slowed. We had a doji at the end of the day. We haven't had a lot of volume for many days now that have been helping much with that. First day of this latest two-day candle, you see low volume. For the week, we're okay, just closing out a Tuesday. But again, not much. We look at where the high was 2 weeks ago. That was 697.84. Last week, we were 696.96. And this week, we are 696.54. So again, we're continuing to watch. Are we reaching a topper here? You can see when you look at the half-day chart, go down to the bottom here, you can see where things have popped up around the same area and blown off, haven't pushed through. If we do push through that, then of course we may just keep slowly but surely climbing, or at some point, my friends, this market's going to tumble. When did it tumble last? Oh gosh, the 24th of February, the week beginning that, 2025. And it tumbled all the way through. The biggest down week was that week of beginning the 7th of April, 2025. Then things leveled out and started moving up. So again, we're going to watch. We're going to see. We're going to be ready to capitalize if indeed the market does offer that opportunity, because we did trade that last time and it worked out quite well for us. And of course, then the run up after that worked out even better. So that is where we are on Tuesday. Let's look at where we are with the NASDAQ 100. It was down 0.46%. Now, you noticed with the S&P, we had green up candles moving up. Well, the NASDAQ is decidedly more negative. We have a downtrend line in the NASDAQ. You can see how much more volume there is for the week already. Not all that much in the 2-day, but you can see on the half day we've had higher volume. And you can see where it's moved up to our current trend line and is bouncing off of it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Will it push through? Will it continue to pull back? Again, we had sort of the classic spinning top last week. We had an interim high up at, what was that, through 636.60. Then we had the red spinning top, which is our telltale sign with good volume. And then this week, a red down candle. So we'll see, is this going to continue? Is this going to magnify? Are we going to have a good jumping in point on a down move if you didn't already pull a trigger on a down move? Hard to do that when, again, unless you really believe in, because you practice traded over and over, you believe in the possibility of continued moves. Now, last time that didn't work for us, did it? Last time we saw that happen, we had a red spinning top. We had one down week after that, and then things moved back around. And again, popping in and then seeing if something's going to work and then moving out is fine if you do that. Again, it's all about limiting losses, and over and over and over again, we say the first thing to do is not lose money. Don't lose money. Second thing to do, make money. Third thing to do, you have to take some risks. They need to be calculated risks based upon your experience and following the rules. Now, that's where we are with the NASDAQ, and maybe this down move will continue. And again, just like with the S&P, give us the ability to get into some short positions. And by that, by the way, for folks that are new, single inverse for QQQ is PSQ. The single inverse that we like to use for SH, or is SH for the S&P 500. These are short funds. Now, you don't know what a short fund's about? I will put in the show notes today or at the end of the videos where I'll put it. I'll put a link to our video, Inverse Funds, How to Make Money When Markets Crash, so you know a little more about that. Kind of thing you want to practice trade and learn if you like. You may not like that. You may just want to get out of the market, let it move down, and then jump back in. Or you can just hang in for all the down moves. If that's, I think one reason you're coming here is trying to figure out, how do I learn to read a chart so that I buy at the right time, sell at the right time, and not get crushed when the market hammers down. Let's look at where we are with 20-year U.S. government bonds, up 1.15%. Now, look at what is happening. We are pushing up on, you can see here, we put in sort of the interim high that we hit back, on the 26th of January. We've pushed up to that, pushing through that. Things had gone a little bit higher back on the 15th of January. And again, we can see where we tapped into that at a couple of other points. But we are pushing through that. We saw where bonds bottomed back on the 4th of February, 5th of February in the afternoon, and then started moving up on, that was 5th of February in the mornings where things started moving up. And of course, bounced up today. So we are keeping an eye on bonds. We don't have a trend line that we can draw. But we did put in a ceiling here that we are watching it try to pass through. And if it does, we may very well have some good momentum that will carry us along. Oh, and by the way, before I leave that, you can see the volume, nice volume in the morning, pulling back in the afternoon. Okay volume on the 2-day, first day of the latest 2-day candle. Not a lot of volume on the weekly, may get up to average volume. We have, since literally the beginning of the year, we've had nice average volume. So lots of volume in bonds. If they've just been riding sideways, hopefully bottoming, building, and getting ready to move up. And wouldn't that be interesting if, as the stock market rolls over and goes down, bonds go up? So we'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. Now, what about gold? Gold pulling back 1% for the day. You can see where it popped up on Monday and then just sort of drifting sideways and down some in the afternoon is what it looks like on the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. See it on the 2-day, not a lot of volume, haven't even hit average volume in gold. Have to go all the way back to the 2nd of February. Are riding along that trend line, above it on the half day, above it on the 2-day, above it on the weekly. Got a ways to go before we hit that high of highs in gold. That was 509.70. We look at what the high was today, 467.56. So things really did jack back in the frame when we had that 2-day plunge on Friday and then Monday. But remember, there's still a bull market, we believe. We believe, our research, if you read the point paper that I did for you guys a couple of weekends ago, still believe we're in a bull market on these precious metals. Again, market had to adjust, had to shake some things out. I write all about that, but I believe that we still have a bull market left for this. Again, I'm not giving trading advice. I am not your trade advisor. We're an education firm. Want you to practice trade with us. Anything you do based upon what we tell you about, It is for education purposes. Hopefully you're paper trading. Now let's move on to the last chart, and that is Bitcoin, HODL. What do we see going there? Pulling back decently for the day, 2.85% in Bitcoin. You can see where Bitcoin bottomed hard back on the 5th in the afternoon, the 5th of Thursday, 5th of February, and sort of moved up some over a couple of days. And then this last day, we can see that pull back. We can again see we're sort of hanging around the same area here on the 2-day, volume decreasing. We look at all that volume last week. This week may get up to average. And again, we haven't hit the low of last week. So we'll continue to watch, wait and see. Bitcoin still has a lot of negativity pushing it down. But Bitcoin goes through these cycles, my friends. People write off Bitcoin all the time, and it goes down, 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 down. And then out of the blue, it bottoms, and then it starts to move up again, and everybody buys back in and gets excited. We'll wait. We'll watch. We'll see. We'll write it back up when it turns around. Hopefully, you're writing it down at this moment. BITI is one of the inverse funds that you can practice trade with to practice when Bitcoin goes down and watch BITI go up. Let me find that for you. I do believe I remember I've actually traded BITI myself before, and it worked out quite nicely for me. But of course, Bitcoin can be very volatile and can hammer you if you don't know what you are doing. But you can see BITI, 15 cents on a $27 and $28 ETF. So 15 cents, and it gets even less during the day. That's the spread between the bid and the ask. Remember, you always buy at the higher price, you always sell at the lower price. But again, not bad, and it gets tighter during the day. So, fairly liquid, not hard for you to practice trade. If you want to go negative, want to go short, want to go bearish on Bitcoin, opportunities abound. My friends, thanks so much for being with us. Always love to hear from you. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth. And remember, you can email us cw@chartingwealth.com.